Do you struggle when changing your routines? Okay, so when it comes to you trying to make a better routine, build a new structure, implant a new system into your lifestyle, does it become really difficult for you to be able to do that? Okay, so let me know. So before we get started and stuck in, also, if you're not working with us and you are a driven, working professional, a family guy, there is a link up here to join our Black Friday offer. This is the best offer that we have ever put out. There's also an opportunity to get started immediately, so you don't have to wait until the 23rd of November, and you can get yourself on that waiting list and get yourself ready to go. Okay, so question: do you struggle to change? Okay, do you struggle to implement new routines, new systems, okay, new structures that are going to benefit your life? And it's tough, right? When I first joined the Royal Marines, when I walked through the camp door with all of these other guys in our shirts and our ties, and we were being taken through the Royal Marine camp, and everyone was looking at us, and everyone was in either a trained Royal Marine or a recruit Royal Marine, looking at us going, you don't know what's coming. We walked straight into this huge block, and there's about 60, 70 beds. It's this huge room. Imagine a huge factory, if you like. And there's all of these beds and all of these people that you don't know. And then the next minute, you're getting your head shaved. The next minute, you're doing press-ups. The next minute, you're being shouted at. And that was my experience. And it was like a shock of capture. I felt like I'd been captured. And it just made me want to cry. And the first 2 nights, I was pretty much down the phone crying home to what was then my former girlfriend, my former wife, and my home, going, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is what I want to do. And it's all I had wanted to do for 1.5 years before. I had given up my job, I had given up my home, I'd given up everything to be there, and being there made me so fearful. I was so scared about change. And the 2 things that I'm going to share with you in this video that really changed my mindset and helped me be able to get through 32 weeks of training to the very end are the 2 things that I think that can help you be able to get through your journey, through your process, okay, to be able to show up and go, oh man, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay. And these 2 things I learned through the process of going through that training, because after the initial shock of capture and then suddenly becoming comfortable with the environment and everything that was going on, I started to fall back on these 2 things over and over and over again. So much so that they become my coping mechanism, almost. And I think that when we change, we almost need that coping mechanism to fall back on. Okay, we need to be able to find a way to be able to handle the fear, find a way to be able to change the way that we're handling things, embrace ourselves and evolve into new environments. So much so that it rocket fuels us and projects us to the outcomes that we want to achieve. So we want to achieve these outcomes. So I joined Royal Marine training to achieve my green beret, to achieve my Royal Marine flashes, and be proud enough to turn around and say, man, I achieved something in my life. I set myself out for a 32-week journey. I put myself, my body, my mindset, my emotions on the line, and I come out at the end of it, and now I'm set up for the rest of my life. Okay? And when I look back at it, these 2 things were the things that changed that. And they are the things that I still fall back on today. In terms of when it's tough, when it's hard, when you feel like you're walking through sinking sand, I still fall back on these. And I think that these can definitely help you do the same. So I'm going to share those 2 things with you now. I'm going to share why they're important and how you can use them in your journey. Okay, so the first one, in no particular order, is a desire to succeed. Okay, The first one is a desire to succeed. So when we were in Royal Marine training, I mentioned at the start there were 60 people. 60 people joined. By the very end, on our pass out day, only 4 of those 60 were still there, me being one of them. And there were lots of other people that came in from other troops, either back trooped or from injury, and they'd come back to join us. But only 4. And as we went through training, there was this picture of all 60 of us on the notice board. And every time somebody left because they didn't want to do it anymore, because they couldn't hack it, because of some other excuse, maybe they were injured, the training team used to black out that person's face. And every time I would wake up and I would walk past that picture, the desire becomes stronger and stronger and stronger to be one of those faces that was left. Because this was my opportunity to be able to be one of those few people left in such a demanding environment. Okay, so the desire to achieve my Green Beret, my desire to have this career becomes stronger every single day based on looking at this picture. Now, I think that when we look at this in terms of how do you change, how does desire help you? And I think one of the things you can do is almost get old pictures of you, okay, of the times when you look stressed, when you're overweight, when were in a career or a place that you weren't happy, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And you should be able to put them up somewhere and remind yourself of what the alternative is to your life. And that's one of the things that I used to do. I didn't really have a phone back then, not these Gucci iPhones. But I had a picture of me that was as a store manager for McDonald's up sort of like on our wall. It was an old, it wasn't very clear, but it was just an old one that you used to get printed at Boots, and I would put it up on my notice board, and it's the only thing that I put up there because every single day I felt like quitting. I looked at that picture of me on my shift and going, that's my old life. If you don't get through this, that's where you're going back to. That's what I didn't want. So I had a daily reminder of, number one, that's the life that I could go back to. Number two, the second picture of, I don't want my face blacked out. So these two things, and then seeing the desire that I could have with the green lid, being a Royal Marine Commando, having that life that I desperately wanted, create that undeniable desire that no matter what they threw at me, I was going to get through it. And that's the mentality that you have to have when you are changing and going through a journey. Does that make sense? So, number two, okay? Number two is, I think, really an important one because it's powerful. Okay, it's really, really powerful. And I think not enough people connect with this, okay? And it's almost like it's almost like an imagination, okay? And the second one is vision. So vision was really important for me at that time. All the way through my life, I always wondered what I was going to do. I wasn't really going anywhere. I managed to stumble across a career within McDonald's to be a store manager. Probably would have been an ops manager, would have gone up to head office, probably would have had a really great career. They were a really great company. But it wasn't the vision that I had for my life. I visualised travelling the world. I visualised seeing the UK, meeting lots of new people, going on these cool adventures with the military. And the vision that I had as I was being educated through the process was that, man, this could be an incredible career. And I visualised it. And I visualised what I wanted to do. I visualised that I wanted to be a sniper. I visualised that I wanted to be a physical training instructor. I visualised that actually I wanted to have a family and bring them to Devon. Like, all of these things I remembered every single day in terms of how I showed up. And that vision became like my rocket fuel. And it worked side by side with my desire to leave my old life, my desire to change me as a human being, which then crept into my vision of my future life. Where is my life going here? And this is where it's important for you, is that where are you going with your development? Where are you going with your life? Okay, and that's a lot of the things that we teach guys through our Elite Movement Blueprint. That's the thing that we try to get through to everybody in our brotherhood, is that where are you going now? You've got the desire to change, but what's the vision for the future? And it's a case of being able to transfer that desire into the vision that takes you through to the end goal, to achieve your outcome, to achieve whatever your green beret is and your flash is, right? So whether that's you living a healthier lifestyle, whether that's you quitting your job and finding one that's more suitable to your lifestyle, whether that's you building a business, whether that's you moving abroad, traveling the world, being financially free, whatever it is. But that's what we're trying to see and trying to get through, right? So those two things, desire and vision, are the things that got me through the hardest times in Royal Marine training. And they are the things that will help you go from the life that you're living now to the life that you want to live. That's the game changer, right? Anyway, I hope that is helpful for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'm only asking you for 2 minutes of your time, that when I hang up, you go into the post and you comment and you tell me what your takeaways were from this. Thanks.